This is a drawing in response to a request from King Ale, or King Alext. King Alext. He wanted me to draw a cat, a grumpy cat with the boss from whackyourboss.com. So I thought the best way to do that would be to be sure that the boss is grumpy and then do exactly the same expression on the cat. So the cat is grumpy as well. That always gives a fun look. So I did this drawing and I liked it, and then I actually went further than the drawing you see here. I wound up drawing him petting the cat, and I drew a table. But you know what? The arm and the table, they're too distracting. They take away from the two faces. This is a better drawing. Nice and simple. However, I wanted him to be more grumpy. So I drew the boss more grumpy here, and I'll repeat the same process with the cat, where I will copy the face and make the cat identical to this boss again. I like the way, by the way, that I draw the tie going over his belly here. It just makes him look a little bit fat. But is he the same? Is he more grumpy? Yeah, he's definitely more grumpy than the last boss that I drew. So that's good. That's the effect I wanted, was to have him more grumpy, so then the cat would be more grumpy, and then we would have a drawing that works, a little bit better than the previous one. So also, the idea was, should I copy the same exact arms to make the mirror image work? Maybe, but I just decided to draw my new set of arms here. So the first drawing was just two grumpy characters, but this one now is maybe going to have a little bit more of a story. There's a mirror image. I like the idea of putting the table in on this one. He's not going to be reaching out and petting him. And this one works better. They're separated. There's space between them. They're grumpy. But then I thought maybe there's more of a story, which is maybe I can add some color and something playful. These guys are so grumpy, they are never going to be playing with this ball of yarn. True grumpiness. But then as a third option that I went for here, which was to really go for it and to have the boss so grumpy that he's like sitting in the corner, dejected, clutching his knees. But as I did this drawing, I began to see that these eyes were looking more sad. So there's no real science to this other than the feeling of it. I allow the pen to move around, and I try to let the feeling of grumpiness come through my wrist into my hand, and until I come up with the eyeball that feels grumpy. And so I've got him now. His hands are going to be gripping around his knees so that he's really scrunched up and in the corner and pathetic. And there's something here that's really bad. It's called a tangent. It's right there where the knee is touching his arm. You don't want that. You either want the knees to cross the arm, or you want them to come below it so that there's some white space. I decided to have them cross the arm because ultimately it gives a better look of really scrunching his body up into one little dot. So his knees are now coming up into his chin, into his nose, and he's looking more pathetic and more grumpy than if he was just sitting in the corner sad. The knees, the higher the knees, the more of the patheticness. But then I thought, drawing him in the corner isn't really much of a story. Why would he be sitting in the corner? Or why don't we have him sitting somewhere else, which would affect how the cat feels about him and cause him, the cat, to feel grumpy? We all know the boss is feeling grumpy because he's the boss, and that's just the way bosses are. But the cat, why is the cat feeling grumpy? Because the boss is usurping his power. He's taking his position in the world, and that will now be a story even better than the yarn that we came up with. So the cat, though, should we repeat these cats or copy his face? In this case, I thought I would just draw a new cat. We're going to keep the cat low on the page, and I drew a bunch of cats. I did not like any of these. I'll show them to you quickly now. Pathetic cat montage. Here we go. Bad cats, bad cats. So, sometimes I get burnt out, so then I just go ahead and draw the kitty litter. Or I pick something else to draw, get away from the cat concept, and then I can return to it, and I can draw the cat with a fresh eye. Draw the cat's eye with a fresh eye. Now, these two eyes, to me, felt grumpy, and then I felt I had the feeling that I wanted, which was grumpy cat glaring at crazy, insane, grumpy boss. Sometimes when I do a head like this, I can even change. Now that's the chin, that's the nose, that's the mouth. But sometimes I can just turn that chin into a mouth just to see what it looks like. Now obviously, happy there, I don't want that. But I decided just to keep this is the chin. Oh, cat's too big. Got to make him smaller. And now the question is how to do the tail and where to put the tail. That's the big question. And then I just draw a bunch and I find out which ones work. Now these tails don't work. I'll tell you why in a second. A tail down here is better because ultimately a tail that goes up high, yeah, this is the one we'll stick with. A tail that goes up high will make the cat as big as the boss on the page. We don't want that. The cat's pathetic and small. The boss is taking the power. We don't want the cat that tall. We want the cat low. Also, we want that tail to point around. We want to look from the boss from left to right. Then we want to go from the cat back to the left with the eyeball. You want to lead the viewer's eye around your drawing. If you've got this tail, you've got the subtle effect of the boss looking down, and then the eye goes to the right, back up to the boss, and we've now got a perfect circle. A tail that goes up high and points off to the right, it leads the viewer's eye off the page, and we don't want that. What we do want, though, is this kind of a look here. Please click subscribe if you liked watching this, and let me know if you have any ideas or any thoughts, anything you want me to draw. There's a good chance I'll draw it. Thanks, take care.